Let's head to Columbus because we're going to talk some Ohio State recruiting. The Buckeyes coming off a bye week, ready for a big noon kickoff against Nebraska. And the visit list is loaded, headlined by five-star Jahkeem Stewart. He's back at Ohio State this weekend. Steve, how important is this visit?
An unofficial visit, Josh. I think that shows you how high Ohio State really is on his list as the Buckeyes battle Oregon, LSU, and USC down the stretch for one of the most coveted players, regardless of position in the country. He's going to come back for his official visit the weekend of November 30th when Ohio State plays Michigan. And Ohio State's a program he can really see himself at for a couple of reasons. First of all, has a great relationship with Larry Johnson and Alan Clark, the two defensive line coaches. Larry Johnson, his historic track record really resonates with him, and he just really feels like he could develop under both of those coaches. And then Ohio State's consistency. They're always ranked in the top 5, top 10 year in and year out. They always boast some of the best defensive linemen in the country that hear their names called high in the NFL draft year in and year out. And Jahkeem Stewart, he loves college football. He sees himself playing in the biggest games. He sees himself hearing his name in the pregame as one of the impact players in the biggest games Saturday. And Ohio State, they're the ones playing in those games. They're the ones that typically have the defensive linemen. He was at the Ohio State-Oregon game. I think that those are the two programs that are in the best position for Jahkeem Stewart right now. Certainly, again, LSU and USC rounding out the top 4. He's going to be at the LSU-Alabama game. He's going to be at the USC-Nebraska game later in the year. But Ohio State and Oregon doing a fantastic job recruiting him. Had a great visit to Eugene for the Ducks' victory over the Buckeyes. He's going to go back to Oregon the weekend before his Ohio State visit for an unofficial. So Ducks and Buckeyes setting up for the last 2 visits, but Ohio State getting them in this weekend, then going to get them back for the game against Michigan. They're right there to ultimately land Jahkeem Stewart. They have the number 2 class in the country right now. A guy like Jahkeem Stewart could put them back in the number 1 spot.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I didn't realize that this was an unofficial with the official still coming. So bonus visit here for the Buckeyes. All right, 2 more Buckeye visitors that I think are important. I want to talk about, one offensive, one defensive. Damola Ajitahun, who's committed to Georgia Tech, big offensive tackle, and Edge Zahir Matthews, who's committed to Ohio State, but he's been looking around. They're both going to be on campus. Those are important.
Yeah, they've been making up a lot of ground with Damola. Offered him earlier this fall. Coach Fry and company have really connected with him. This is a visit that he's excited to take. South Carolina is a program that's actually been building a lot of momentum with the Georgia Tech commit. Georgia's trying to hang in there, but this is an opportunity for Ohio State to show them the need that they have. It's the biggest need that they have left in the cycle, in the stage he could potentially play on. So we'll know more about Ohio State's position coming out of the weekend. And then with Zahir, I think he ultimately sticks with Ohio State, but Penn State's certainly been trying to chip away at that. So this weekend, a chance to remind him of all the things he loves about the Buckeyes and why he's in the fold.
All right, Steve, I thought Naeem Alford was expected to be in Columbus this weekend, but it looks like he's no longer coming.
No, our colleague Chad Simmons reported that on Wednesday. Naeem Alford not able to visit this weekend. But he is, as we've reported in the past here on the Whip Around, going to be back for the Michigan game at the end of the season. Obviously, if you're Ohio State, you wanted to get him up a couple times because he's been to Auburn a bunch. He's been to a couple games, been to practice. He was out at Oregon for the Oregon-Ohio State game. But the communication remains regular with Coach Walton, and the recruitment remains the same. It's going to go to the wire. It's going to go to December 4th. We saw Ohio State hold off Georgia and Alabama for Edric Houston. Can they hold off Auburn and Oregon this cycle for Naeem Alford? Time will tell, and they'll get him back at the end of November.
All right, Buckeye fans, talk to Steve and I. How are we feeling about this Jahkeem Stewart bonus visit? It's not even his official visit. Let us know. Comment section below.